It can be helpful as you identify your values to see if the belief guiding them is in alignment with God's truth and His principles. Gaining an awareness and understanding of the core values you hold and how they're influencing your decision-making will help you come into alignment with God's unique plan for your life. Hey there! Are you a Christian woman who's ready to strengthen your faith and stop the madness in your mind? The worry, doubt, anxiety. Do you want something more for your life but are not sure where to even begin? You've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Kristin Campbell. I'm excited that you're here as we journey together to discover mindset renewal and empowered faith for the Christian woman. The end of summer, such a bittersweet time, at least for me. While it marks the end of my favorite season, it also marks the beginning of a new year, filled with the excitement of new possibilities. Like many of you, I equate the start of the school year as more of my New Year's than December 31st. Our entire household shifts into gear as we set off to new grades, sometimes new schools, there's new schedules, we set new goals. I mean, even those prized new school clothes, it's the biggest overall change we face throughout the year. And it's a time to buckle down in many ways. We get back into quote unquote normalcy, and I use that term very loosely, but routines are adhered to more, and what may have gone unchecked during the laid-back summer months now become more regulated. Our priorities are shifted, and it's really a great opportunity to revisit and revise our core values. Now, we do this as a family, and since my kids are getting older, I'm helping them to set their individual core values as well. It's really important for all of us to know what our values are, because they are the unwritten, or as you'll see soon, our written rules that set the standards for our behavior. And knowing these will help you just to persevere during difficult times in a way that you can feel good about, in a way that honors yourself and the Lord. They become your personal code of conduct, and it helps you when you're navigating through your choices. Because when you aren't clear on your core values, you're going to be tossed about blindly. And often it's going to be your feelings that are going to be driving your decisions. And you can get yourself into compromising situations. I know because I've been there. It gets messy. So let's dig in today. Let's see how you can solidify some of your core values too. I want to make mention that your values and your beliefs are not the same things. They are connected, but they're not interchangeable. So your beliefs are the things that you hold to be true, regardless of circumstances or evidence. So they're going to be more absolute in nature. They're the assumptions that we make about the world around us. And we often will filter our experiences through our belief system to create our perceived realities. So you may hold the belief that all humans are essentially good. And this is despite all the crime that you see or, what's going on in the news every night. Values are more abstract concepts. They're going to be your drivers, your motivators. They're what you determine to be important to you. So if you hold the belief that all humans are essentially good, that may lead to a value of really trusting, giving everyone the benefit of the doubt. What you believe guides your values and how you live your life. So they are connected, but they're not the same. And many times we think we know what our values are, yet it can get a little sticky when we're asked to list them. And I love sticky, so let's begin. If you can, grab a piece of paper or a journal because we're going to be doing some free write. And if you have to come back to this, please do. But I want you to start thinking about what traits are important to you. Think about the things that guide your behaviors, your decisions. What determines for you what is good or bad? Think about what your personal code of conduct is made up of. So, for example, one of my core values is integrity. And I define that as doing what's right, regardless of if anyone knows or if it's difficult. So this guides my personal code of conduct, and it guides it in ways that sometimes are frustrating. I'm the person who tells the cashier that they gave me too much change back. I'm going to wait at the red light when no one is around on the roads. I'll tell the movies my kids' real ages. Because when I don't, it eats me up inside. I'm violating a core value. So, what are some values that guide you? And it can help to think of times that were really special or memorable to you. Why was that? What made it so memorable? Or you could even think of a situation that really angered you. Could it be that it was upsetting because it went against a value that you hold dear? You'll want to start listing these out. Don't think too much or judge it, just free write, because we'll go back over it in a moment. I'm going to share some examples of values just to kind of help get your thoughts flowing. This is not an exhaustive list. It's a sampling, but it is a little long. So feel free to skip ahead. I will not be offended. Here we go. Authenticity, achievement, ambition, acceptance, autonomy, balance, beauty, bravery, compassion, cleanliness, community, competency, confidence, connection, creativity, curiosity, discipline, determination, education, faith, fame, family, friendships, frugality, fun, generosity, gratitude, growth, happiness, honesty, integrity, influence, inner harmony, joy, justice, kindness, knowledge, leadership, learning, love, loyalty, meaningful work, openness, optimism, overall well-being, peace, pleasure, power, prosperity, recognition, reputation, respect, responsibility, security, self-respect, service, spirituality, stability, sustainability, success, trustworthiness, uniqueness, wealth, wisdom. Now, this may take some time to come up with your list, and it's probably going to take more time and reflection than we have in this podcast. So if you're not finished yet, it's okay. You can always come back to it later and continue when you have more time and you're able to pause throughout this podcast. But when you do have a list jotted down, you'll want to put a star or a mark by what you believe are your top 5, I would say 10 at most, values. Because those are going to be your core values. And you're going to want to take some time to really reflect on these deeper. So you'll want to begin with one at a time. And you want to make sure that they are, in fact, your core value. So you're going to ask yourself, what does living this value out in your life look like? And it's going to be very unique to you. So, for example, success as a value will look very different to different people depending on their definition. So, if you define success as a financial or something that's achievement driven, such as, becoming a CEO by 30 or having multiple cars and houses or wearing expensive designer clothing, your life is going to look very different than someone who defines success more relationally. Perhaps for them, success is having a large family with strong bonds and a stable job that can provide for their needs. So you really want to get clear on what it looks like for you. And the reason it's so important is because you want to know if you're truly living that value out. And that brings us to the next reflection question. Are you living this value out now? If not, how strong of a value is it for you? Maybe it's not top 5. That's okay. That's good information to know. Go ahead and drop it down. See if something else rises up. You don't want to force these core values because it ends up being a waste of your time and your energy. But if it is a top 5, it's a core value that you truly desire, then take it a step deeper. What is preventing you from living it out? What changes need to be made? How can you start to move in that direction today? Because it's never too late. And you want to go through each core value with these reflection questions. I want you to remember that values, again, they're more abstract and they're more flexible than a belief is. Values also have different seasons. Some values can be rearranged in priority depending on where you find yourself in life. Let's go back to success. Perhaps your definition changes over the years. So your priorities, your behaviors, your choices, they're going to change as well. But that's life. It's ever changing. And hopefully you're growing. Your values may also change as you heal. I mentioned earlier how our beliefs guide our values. Well, this includes any limiting or negative beliefs as well. For example, if you hold the limiting belief that you are not likable, you may have a deconstructive value of approval seeking. You're driven to gain validation from others. You engage in people pleasing to do so. Once you're healed and you recognize that you are in fact likable, lovable, and worthy just as you are, you may drop the approval seeking and pick up the constructive value of self-respect. It can be helpful as you identify your values to see if the belief guiding them is in alignment with God's truth and His principles. Also, if you noticed, I use the terms constructive and deconstructive, simply implying is the value building you up or tearing you down in some way. And the same value can do both depending on the situation. Take peace as an example. It's constructive when you prioritize it over overwhelming your schedule with, one more to-do item. Yet, it can be deconstructive if you misuse it, so to avoid having a hard conversation or potential conflict with a friend who's taking advantage of you. Gaining an awareness and understanding of the core values you hold and how they're influencing your decision-making will help you come into alignment with God's unique plan for your life. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. I hope you walked away a little stronger in your faith and freer in your mind. You are so loved. If you liked this episode, share it with a friend. Leave your ratings and reviews, and engage with me on social media. I'd love to hear from you.